when Sam Jackson, when Ordell is telling him, you know, we're gonna go get the money if she doesn't have it. If she starts making excuses, I'm gonna kill you and then I'm gonna shoot her. And it doesn't faze him one bit. He is so cool. He's just, yeah, okay.
Especially because if you were to run into, maybe not Sam Jackson, but Sam Jackson as that character, he's a pretty intimidating dude. At least I would have thought that. And yeah, and Max is just unfazed the whole time.
Yeah, there's that. There's also a callback to Pulp Fiction. Do you know what it is?
No.
When he goes into I forget her name. I want to say it's Sharonda. When Sam Jackson's like over there and he's on the phone, he's looking around, and her apartment is just trashed, or her house is just trashed. He's like, this is some repugnant shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great callback. There's a good reference to The Killer, the John Woo movie, the Hong Kong movie, The Killer. In the very beginning, when we're watching the Girls with Guns video, and he's talking about how, like, when The Killer went out, like, everyone wanted, like, 2 guns, like The Killer. Mm-hmm. And that was really cool because that's, at the time, that's when, like, the Hong Kong movies were making their way over to the States, and a lot of people were getting into them, especially, like, the John Woo movies and everything. So, like, a bunch of us had seen The Killer. And then when he mentions The Killer in the beginning, we're like, yes! Like, he's cool because he knows that. But, man, I don't want to take up, like, the entire show just talking about Jackie Brown, but I love Jackie Brown. I can't say it enough. And I try and watch it as much as I can when I get a chance. And I know that my best friend Joel, that's like probably his favorite Tarantino movie. And I know he watches it regularly, and he loves it.
Nice. All right, you ready to move on?
Yeah, because in like 15 minutes from now, I'm gonna like think about some more shit I want to say about Jackie Brown. Love it. Yeah, let's move on.
All right. Kill Bill Volume 1 coming up.
Not too long ago, I was quite the professional. My friends and I, we were the creme de la creme in an exclusive industry. And we all worked for this man, Bill. Then one day, I decided to leave, settle down, and start a new life. But when I tried to get out, they did me in.
Don't you ever wake up?
I guess they should have tried a little harder.
So I suppose it's a little late for an apology, huh?
We suppose correctly. Now it's kill or be killed.
You have every right to want to get even.
Get even? Even, Stephen? I would have to kill you.
That'd be about square.
And I choose kill.
Mommy, I'm home. Hey, baby. How was school?
One ticket to Tokyo, please. One way.
That woman deserves her revenge. We deserve to die.
No kidding, I heard it was kind of hard.
Silly Caucasian girl likes to play with samurai swords.
Yeah. Any more subordinates for me to kill?
Hi.
You didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you? For a second there? Yeah, I kind of did. Silly rabbit. Hard part's over.
All right, so that was one of the trailers for Kill Bill Volume 1. That film was released in 2003, if you can believe it. It runs in at 1 hour and 52 minutes, and it has a 85 on Rotten Tomatoes. The box office, for the box office, the budget for this was $30 million, and it grossed $70 million. Yeah. So what do you think about Kill Bill now?
Well, first of all, like, I've never heard that trailer. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never with the dramatics song for the intro. I've never seen that trailer before. I remember the original trailer for Kill Bill when it was still one movie, because originally Kill Bill was supposed to be one film, and the running time was over 4 hours. So Weinstein ended up chopping it in half and releasing it in 2 volumes, which I think works, because when you watch both movies,
it's almost as if it's split perfectly.
Yeah, and there's like a different tone almost to both films. So I know it was supposed to be one movie that was just chopped in half, but it almost feels like chopping it in half was the intention all along, because the split is so perfect to come back. But when it was originally supposed to be one film, I remember seeing the teaser for it. I think it was attached to Gangs of New York, and it was the teaser with the music that is playing when they walk into the House of the Blue Leaves and everything. And it was actually, because it was just one film at the time, there was actually scenes from both movies in that teaser.
Okay.
But that was still, God, I want to say it was like 9 or 10 months before Kill Bill even opened, is when that teaser first appeared. But as just Volume 1 as a movie, I like Volume 1 a lot, because it was an homage to like samurai movies and
just Asian culture.
Yeah, and I was like way into samurai flicks at the time because of Akira Kurosawa and everything. But I really liked it. I really thought that it was cool. And this was, man, he hadn't put out a movie in years. He did Jackie Brown in '97, and Volume 1 didn't come out until 2003, so it was like 6 years.
Mm-hmm. I feel like he's notorious for that, where he takes really big breaks in between. And that's why we don't have so much from him as opposed to other people. Like Ridley Scott has a shit ton of movies.
Ridley Scott needs to pump the brakes a bit, because his last handful of movies, with the exception of The Martian, have not been good. But Tarantino does. I think Paul Thomas Anderson does it too, where it's it's like 4 or 5 years before another movie comes out, and that's good, and especially with Tarantino with his style and everything, that you don't want him putting out a movie every single year.
Yeah, because then it's going to lose its. Well, I mean, we quite possibly might be towards the end of his reign anyway, but I feel like it's more of a big deal, almost like an epic thing, when you hear about him dropping this new flick and then following it. Like, I remember following Django from like the very beginning stages until it was open, and it was a big deal. You know what I mean? And so I kind of like that about him, that it's like almost like, I don't know how to explain it.
No, I get what you're saying, and this is probably a little bit off topic, but that's how I kind of feel about the Star Wars movies now. Is the Star Wars movies, the originals, we pretend that the prequels don't exist, but there was enough time between them to kind of build this anticipation. And now it seems like instead of every 3 years, they're putting them out every 2 years. Now they're trying to make like other Star Wars movies that aren't in that are in that same universe, but at like different times, like Rogue One, like with the Han Solo movie. Like it's kind of like they're gonna flood the market with them, and it's not going to build up that anticipation. And who knows? Like, they might not be as good.
Disney,
it
could be Disney pushing
making a lot of money off it. But that's how I kind of feel about that, and that's kind of like, yeah, you're right. That's kind of like what makes it cool and kind of builds that anticipation. Is he doesn't do a movie all that often, even though I think the last few have only been about 3 years apart.
Well, I mean, Inglourious was 2009 and Django was 2012.
Yes.
So that's still a big, yeah.
Yeah, 3 years. But this was double that. This was 6 years after Jackie Brown, so there was a lot of anticipation, and I think Tarantino himself said that's why at the very beginning it says the fourth film by Quentin Tarantino, because he hadn't made one in so long, and he was kind of building that hype to get back into him.
Especially tackling something like this, like a martial arts film, you know? It was so kind of unfamiliar territory for him, and it was very exciting because I remember watching that too for the first time. I didn't get to go see it in the theater because, like I've mentioned on here before, my grandparents are kind of strict, and I couldn't even really go to the movies very much. So that was one that I missed, but I did get to check it out on VHS, and it blew me away. And it was just the first volume, and I was like, "This is amazing."
Yeah, and it's crazy, like all of the fight scenes with the Crazy 88 in the House of Blue Leaves, the anime sequence, like the way the movie opens up with that crazy like knife fight between Uma Thurman and Vivica Fox, like it really like just started off immediately.
Yeah,
and kind of like Pulp Fiction, there was a lot of different things going on in the movie, and that's what made it like really cool and really exciting. Also, I think with the amount of action and everything that he had to do, I think shooting the film took a very long time. Because just the logistics of pulling off that fight scene in the House of Blue Leaves had to be crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. Except for, I'll do a bonus Swan fact that I'm sure you already know, but the reason why it turns to black and white was because the censors didn't want to approve the film because there was so much blood. So he took out the color, so it kind of leaves it to the imagination. You can't really say that it's blood because you can't see the red.
True, and I kind of get that, but at the same time, no one has like a geyser of blood shooting out.
Yeah,
when something like that happens, it's like watching like Evil Dead or something. It's like the violence is so over the top.
Well, it's like
and almost comical.
He was, I feel like, pulling from anime, and like if you watch a lot of those, like the rated R stuff, it's very much like that. Like when Lucy Liu decapitates that guy, and there's this like, it's very obvious that it was exaggerated on purpose. So it's funny that they were so offended by that stuff.
I remember reading that, but like later, I always wondered, like when I first saw it, why it went to black and white, and then why it went to black and white, and then I read that later that it was to skirt the MPAA.
But it's funny because they're still doing weird stuff like that now. Because I don't know if you've seen the new It trailer or the first one when they do the bathroom scene where it's black, and people got really annoyed by that, and they were like, why is it black? It's not supposed to be black. And they came out and they said, we digitally altered it for the trailer.
Yes. And the original Kill Bill teaser, when she's in the yellow jumpsuit during the fight in the House of Blue Leaves, I believe the stain on the front of her jumpsuit is black. Because of that, it's blood in the movie, but because of the trailers, because they're supposed to be approved for all audiences.
Oh, okay.
They changed blood to black to make it almost looks like oil. That's something I remember thinking, like, why does she have oil on the front of her jumpsuit? And then I read that they take the color out of the blood. They change it and make it a different color, so it doesn't seem as violent. But man, that beginning scene is like intense.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's great dialogue, and it's really like a jolt.
So looking at Kill Bill as